a selfless. Listen, I'm one of the biggest hearted motherfuckers in the world. I done gave it all, my nigga. I'm talking about some relationships. I spent $250,000-$300,000. I didn't even fucking have it. Just to save a motherfucker, right? Shit, man. Nah, I'm saying just to save a motherfucker, right? Just because of love.
That's little Snoop on your PTR.
Just because you care about the well-being of another motherfucker.
Snoop,
more than yourself. More than yourself. Elon Musk gave out more, and he just come on, bro. Tell us about the good life. Look. The good life is this: when you learn from, and you ain't gotta like the beautiful part about this shit is you ain't gotta ever think about going through this shit again. That I went through. You see what I'm saying? Everything else is bliss. Everything else is beautiful. Because you appreciate the simplest shit. Like right now, I'm having a conversation with y'all niggas while I just walked to the store on some average civilian shit. And I could have had a concierge. You see what I'm saying? I enjoy walking in the midst of the rain. I enjoy the fall.
Well, if you're not in the military, we're all.
I put this FaceTime link up. Right?
If you're not in the military or alien, we're all average civilians.
No, it's not what I mean. I'm talking about preference. I'm talking about preference and opportunity and the things I could be doing. I appreciate the little shit more than somebody else in my position would. Other motherfuckers would not be able to do this little shit looking over their shoulder.
Because just yesterday, somebody was saying, "Bro, why you got on a cheap ass T-shirt in your PCR?" And it was like, "If you rich, why you got on a cheap shirt?" And I'm like, "Bro, because sometimes I just want to go into TJ Maxx like I used to. You know, that's why I come from poverty, bro. Sometimes I want to go get a deal on some shoes or something. Like that's what I'm used to. I don't always gotta go get the most expensive shoes and clothes. Like, so what? I got on a $15 shirt and I'm rich. Who cares? Nigga, well, I don't put this shirt on for you anyways. I put this shirt on for the ladies, nigga."
When you did all the traveling, when you done did all the shopping, you done got all the car, you done got all the exposure to all the material things, the shit that matters to you is the peace with yourself, you feel me? And the peace and comfort and the comfortability to be able to walk through the street of Chicago and not get hurt, or walk through Dallas or Houston, Texas, and it not be a problem. You see what I'm saying? That's the flexibility and the freedoms that a lot of people, when they have a name and notoriety and all this other shit attached to their name.
Especially because you're humble with it, too.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
You're not flashy.
Yeah. That flashy shit is the type of shit that gets you killed and makes you a target. You know? So it's like, I learned from...
Wait, I got a question for what he just said. Like, so y'all can say if I'm tweaking or not, but, like, y'all, like, they say, like, because women like to, like, talk around this, right? So this nigga just said, we say... A nigga that's flashy and all that shit, that's how they get robbed. So a female that's walking around flashy and dressing sexy clothes, that's how a bitch get raped, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. I just want to say that.
So you absolutely right. I like a modest woman. I don't like a woman out here, and me as a nigga with money, I don't like a woman out here advertising. That's what I call it. That's what it is. It's advertisement.
Cool. I'm thinking about what they like to wear that shit, bro.
They don't like to wear it. They like to advertise.
They feel good wearing it.
No, there's better quality clothes that look better than that.
But it still doesn't give you a right.
I'm Muslim now. Shoot, I don't get it. I used to be an athlete, and if I was running, I was wearing spandex. You know what I'm saying? Shorts. If I was in a sauna, I was probably in that bitch with a bra on.
Yeah, but just because you wear short clothes, that don't mean you deserve to get raped.
Yeah, you don't deserve it, but you got to be realistic that people are going to perceive you that kind of way, as like a slut or whatever.
That's a personal. That's a them problem, though. That's not my problem.
Yes, and with accepting that it's a them problem, we have a lot of thems out in the world. You can't just ignore that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of those goofies out here. So
that's what's up. That's what's up.
I'll give you an example. There's a woman who's going to wear a bunch of open breast skims. And there's women who gonna be modest with their spandex. You feel me? They're not gonna be out here with see-through spandex and some shit that don't fit them. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit that I'm talking about. People who are modest with the shit that they're doing in public. So a woman that could be single but still dresses like she got a man at home. That's the type of woman I respect. Especially if I'm walking around making millions of fucking dollars at a young age, and I could be with a Victoria's Secret model or whoever the fuck else I wanted to be with. You feel me?
you got to be able to match the standard, a high quality standard, and meet a prerequisite without me having to tell you, hey, this is what I expect.
Yeah, like I don't think nobody deserve to get robbed. But okay, go to the hood where I'm from. You think you're gonna rock some shit like how PNB did, thinking he gonna go into the motherfucking Waffle House or wherever. You know what I mean? With a motherfucking $500,000 on his neck and his arm and his wrist and all that little shit, pulling up in the damn Benz.
But you know who I got respect?
This shit gonna get took.
Because he PNB. He PNB.
Ocho Cinco.
No. If anybody was sitting in there with $500,000 worth of jewelry on, it's getting took.
Yeah.
You know Ocho Cinco, he'll tell you, he's like, all my jewelry come from Claire's. He was like, I'm not spending that money. He was like, yeah, what am I spending this money for?
How was
He
that?
was like, I saved my money. He was like, I'm not spending reckless like this out here.
Yeah, but he have a scarcity mindset in a sense. What's the point of having money if you're not gonna spend it?
Exactly.
I mean,
okay, that's coming from somebody. I don't know. Okay, I set up and watched my mom. So my mom is a widower. Any man she get with passes away, and they tend to leave her everything. I see my mom go through $5 million. When you don't know how to maintain money and keep money, you're gonna spend it recklessly.
Right.
And then when money doesn't change you, you don't even know what to do. You won't touch it. Like I got two car accidents back to back with my son in that car. I'm telling you, money's set in my account, and I ain't know what to do with. My ex-husband was like, you need to spend your shit, invest it, this, that, another. And I'm like, what's the point of doing that? Tell me why my house almost went under because I had a flood. I was able to pay for all the repairs in my house cash.
Right.
And I didn't have flood insurance at the time.
That's a good mindset to have, too.
But no, I wasn't saving it for a rainy day. It's just I don't know how to maintain money, so I will just let it sit in a savings account. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to multiply.
Next time,
my money's just gonna sit.
Next time when y'all get a lot of money, I want y'all to remember this, okay? And y'all, this little piece of advice I'm gonna give you is $1 million worth of game. Recycle your money.
We're good, Kazi.
Don't go spending it. Take a loan against it.
Nigga good.
I hate y'all niggas pretend like y'all know what I'm about to say.
Anyway.
Kazi, thank you, Kazi. We respect
You
you,
gotta say it
Kazi.
to people who don't have nothing in their account.
It don't matter how much you got in your account. Take a loan against this shit and keep it in your account.
It do matter because if I had $1 billion, Kazi, you wouldn't even know my name was Rich. I would not be on this bitch. I ain't gonna count.
Look, you got a different purpose. I got different missions, man. That's it. My job is to help as many people.
I'm not gonna be on this bitch. You ain't gonna know that I spent 100 G's.
Look, at the end of the day, for you to do what I'm doing, you gotta have security. You gotta have people behind what you say.
You wouldn't know that because I'm not gonna be on no album. I'm gonna actually be out here creating shit for people.
That's what I did.
But I do believe that how many good deeds you do depends on your position.
Man, it ain't about what you did. It's about what you do.
Get to the money management talking.
I gave Kazi $1 million. He gave me back $10 million.
One day.
Ooh, you can eat it a second time. It's called acid reflux. It's called acid reflux disease. I eat so much food, I puke it all back out.
that you can, not that you won't, but you ain't.
That's where we at.
Yeah, that's what they were taught. And so when I make the comment, I'm saying that the younger generations don't even, some of them might not have even figured out where this comes from. I joined this room years ago because they were so good at figuring out shit, you know. But a lot of them, we think we're living and growing a certain kind of way when somebody else planted y'all in the ground. I mean, somebody else put y'all on this soil, and they set up the environment that you're in. And so sometimes some people ain't even figured out what the hell's up. Why is it this way? I don't know what's wrong with these kids today. Hell, I know what's wrong with them. We poison them. What this white freedom thing is, or this civil rights thing that caused us to abandon our people as a people. And then they sit around, these very same people that did this, they still bitching about how they get treated. It's done, but we lost. They gave up ownership. And the ownership is the thing that lets you control those environments. You know? So it's a bad thing, but some of the people don't realize it, because when you make those changes, it may take 20 years, especially when they were so much better at control before. It's going to be 20, 25 years or so before you begin to see them. And by the time you see them, you're blaming somebody else who didn't even start the shit. They just living in the shit that we cooked. No?
And what we did, we surrendered the two most basic economic elements of an economy. We surrendered it to white people. We had it. And those two elements are labor and land. You think that we were taught that an economy is based on supply and demand. No, there can be no supply, there can be no demand unless there's labor and land, L-A-N-D. And we gave that up. We gave our labor, we turned it over to white folks to help them build this nation. We turned our labor over, we stopped working for ourselves, and we went to the white man's schools, being masqueraded as HBCUs, so that we can learn how to work for white people and to serve white people. We turned our labor over. And when we turned our labor, we also turned over the land. And those are the two basic elements for an economy. And until once we claim our labor back in land, then there is no economy. And that's what we failed. We've been taught backwards. We're taught to supply and demand. That's industrialized jargon for white folks, white supremacy, capitalistic mechanism. We know that we built this country off our land, off the labor, the sweat of our back. We developed the land, and we built the economy in America. And now we have to turn that around and do the same thing for ourselves if we are to be successful from here on. I land.
But Elder, I mean, we begged white people to teach us. We protested in front of their schools. Teach us. We want to go to your school. We want your education. We begged to go eat at their restaurants. Your apple pie is better than our sweet potato. We don't want our sweet potato pie no more. And we begged, protested, marched, and picketed for this. So why are we complaining? Shouldn't we be happy that we don't know our history? We should be happy that they didn't change the curriculums when we went into their school systems. Why are we so miserable? Why are we so sad when we ask for this?
Well, the generation that's paying for it is not the generation that did it.
Right.
The generation that's paying for it. Yeah, you know, you say we, those people that are suffering from this shit weren't even born then. That's why I prefaced my whole conversation with that. They didn't ask for this shit. They would have been much better. I grew up in a much better time than we see today, even though relatively speaking, times have changed. The kind of control that we had over communities and families was totally different. The way we operated was very different. Even though I grew up in a home of divorced parents, I was raised by my father, you know. So, but to walk the community was a very different kind of thing in the 60s and in the 70s then. You know, everybody wasn't so busy consuming shit and, you know, just being at the whim of the economy, at the winds of the economy. Because we had some ownership, we had some levels of control, some levels of access. And I think what some of the people wanted was really, they wanted some levels of equity, some levels of equality, but they didn't, I don't necessarily agree that they wanted integration. Some did. Some wholly wanted it. They can have that. But our younger generations didn't ask for any of this stuff. And they got what our community gave them, as they were so busy surrendering everything. I've got people out here right now with bachelor's degrees and master's degrees, and they are confused about the significance of having economic viability versus an education. Education is the most important thing you can get. Yeah, certain kinds of education, but not this shit they handing out to y'all, not the indoctrinated kind. Some of them can you know, they can't do many of the things that they need done. And to be honest with you, some of them got better jobs. Some of them got better jobs, but they give so much of what they make back to the service industry that other people control. That we pulled our people out of D. Y'all don't really realize how in the early 80s we gave up all of the skill and trade jobs as a people. I don't know who put it in their ear, but they said, we're not going to do this. We're going to be a professional. We're going to have our education. And our community spoke that. You talk about speaking into existence. We literally spoke that to devalue all of the billions of dollars that come in through a neighborhood, a community, through building some shit. Even Jesus was a carpenter, and we gave him up too. You know, so that's just a fact. And the young folks don't have a clue, because if you were born in the late 70s, you were born in the 80s, you didn't see or hear any of those exchanges. What you see and hear is what the stuff is that we got out there right now, not knowing that we went along with and helped embrace this idea of this education being so important. And I agree with learning. I agree with knowledge. I agree with intellectual ability. I have no problem with people going to school whatsoever. But we can't convince a black engineer to help build something, to help design and create something, and then let the black folks construct it, because they don't believe in that. That's how far off the mark we have come. They think, I got mine, you know, and they turn it back into the white folks that they work for, who made the profit off of their works. They turn that back into them, and then somebody else, either Hispanic or some white folks, get involved with building, largely leaving us out. This is how screwed up this is, and so we're not even on our own team. And
I wanted to say this to you, Ray. I think you make some valid points there. I do think, like, I was born in the 80s, so I do think my generation inherited the decisions of my parents and my grandparents' generation, and to the point you said about education. I think, you know, my parents said education is important, but I think it was a decision that they said, now you figure out what we mean by education. And hopefully, you know, it'll work out for you. But the decision's been made already. So I do think you make some valid points. Because one thing I will say, and I'm assuming you're probably not born in the 80s based on what I'm talking about. If you were born, you know, before 1964, you weren't born with rights that I was born. You had to.
They'll be good for chocolates. You can hit us with a chocolate lava bomb, though.
That would be Switzerland, Salah, not Sweden, different country. Switzerland are known for the chocolate. Sweden are known for massively high tech, like Nokia and various other places. So you got that wrong, Bubs.
That's why they call you Queen.
Amen, brother, amen.
what shit? We need to hold Kamala and Trump accountable. If anything, what black people gonna do? No.
I'm frying chicken, but being real, ADOS. But I heard it. I feel it. I was just wondering.
I'm Black American, man. I'm trying to listen. I feel like we gotta do one year, or we just focus on what we going through, right? Because it's a lot of egregious shit going on. We lead in health disparities. Black boys lead in suicide rate, gun violence, kidnappings.
They're all self-inflicted. Black on black.
People, they got this, your dead mama, your dead cousin, all types of shit. And once you come to the realization that you're not going to ever be able to put hands on them, you learn to let everything just slide off your back.
Because it's like we got to realize that the internet is now the streets. You know what I'm saying? Now they got the underground, but the streets. That's because see, I had to tell that to like Bullet Guy and the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look.
Okay, this is N word, F word, K word. One love.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, Crystal.